what is the equity and bonding proposal and why is it important?
Sure. So I want to just talk about two parts of the equity and bonding. Well, specifically, there's three parts, but I specifically want to talk about, first and foremost, making sure that we're intentionally carving out money. We're talking about a lot of money, so being intentional about carving out money that goes specifically to community-based organizations that are led and serve communities of color. So that's the $30 million that we were talking about early. That's a specific carve-out just for those communities. On top of that, there's a lot of money that we're talking about here. We're talking about $2 billion. And so all of that money needs to have equity built into everything that we do. And I think that's been one of my favorite things since I started this position, is the governor and lieutenant governor have challenged every agency over and over and over again to make sure that from the beginning you're asking all the questions about who is this serving, who is it not serving, why is it not serving, and then make decisions based on that information. So you're actually using an equity framework. So I just want to talk about this piece, the policy piece, and Adele, who's the Community Engagement Director for the Department of Human Rights and is phenomenal, handed out this one-pager, which is the equity and bonding proposal, which complements the capital budget piece that I just mentioned. And I want to give you a little bit of historical context of what's going on here, because it was in 1985 originally that state law required the commissioner for the Department of Human Rights to issue workforce participation goals for women and people of color on state-funded projects. So what this means was, since 1985, the legislature has said, hey, if we're going to be spending money, let's do it in a way that builds a thriving community. Let's be intentional about that. In 2013, the legislature again reaffirmed that commitment when it passed the Women's Economic Security Act. And that act requires employers to ensure they are paying men and women the same rate for the same job, which is still a radical idea, but we're going to get there. And legislators mandated at that point the Minnesota Department of Human Rights to enforce that act through workforce certificates. So this has been going on for a while. The intentionality about how we're spending money has been going on for a while. What has been missing is this intentionality in bonding. And this pot of money does not have that requirement. So just like Representative Lee is talking about here, we have missed opportunities where in Rochester and Duluth, all over the state, where I think there's $20 billion projects going on in Rochester right now, and I think they're really excited about their workforce participation goals for people of color at 4%. And that's unacceptable. And so where we can provide that oversight, where we can provide that partnership, where we can provide that intentionality is through the equity and bonding bill. Now this is a bill that Representative Lee has been carrying and is built into the governor and lieutenant governor's bill. You have some basic information about what that bill looks like, and then I also shared with you folks the workforce goals by region. And so you can see that all over the state we're expecting contractors, we're expecting people who are spending state money to be intentional about putting resources, money, power back into community members who've been most disenfranchised. And so those are the workforce goals by region. And so I hope that helps explain a little bit about the equity and bonding bill. I can talk more about it.